So if I'm trying to hit this vital, right, on the right side here, and I key like this, right, that's gonna hit the target on me, obviously, right, because it doesn't move. But if I key like that on a target that's in the real game and he starts moving like this as I queue, I'm not gonna hit the vital. I might even miss my queue. Right, so like I said, I don't think your problem is that you're making too many like poor decisions in game. I think the main problem is your mechanics. So I'll just try and, for the most part, look at every fight and tell you what I would do, what I see it's going wrong. You know, if there's any patterns that you can maybe try to get rid of, you know, bad habits, stuff like that. This is a fine fight. Your Q is a little poor at the top there, but this is good.
I'm surprised he didn't flash.
You probably didn't think your Q auto was gonna kill you. You had conk up, so. And here, you just want to push. You're trading with him, which is, it's fine, because, well, I shouldn't say it's fine. It's fine, because your jungler's here. If your jungler's in here, trading with him like that's bad, but you just want to push the wave. You don't really want to trade too hard. Getting an HP advantage is okay, because he uses TP already, but you mostly just want to get the wave in and back. And then you buy, let's see. You buy pickaxe, which is good. Just gonna push the advantage. Here, you don't really want to fight him. The best thing you can do right now is not to full on fight him, but you want to try and thin this wave out a little bit. But you want to avoid damage. The big thing is avoid damage. If he's not gonna let you thin out the wave, that's fine. But you can't fight him in this wave, obviously. This is way too many casters. He'll just go there, even with your pickaxe advantage.
This was a big issue I had, and then we did that session, I remember, against a set, and then I because I used to do that a lot.
The only thing you want to do here, in regards to him, is you want to try and pressure him off a little bit if he falls for it, to try and thin the wave a little bit. That way you just catch into a pattern of bouncing waves back and forth, because you want to push your lead, right? So if you can thin it out a little bit, so that way it's, you know, he doesn't have 8 casters in the cannon, you know, maybe he gets down to like 4 or 5, then you can try and hold it right in front of your tower a little bit better. But
so I probably should have been at least trying to attack that there when I was pushing in and trim it down.
Yeah, you should be trying to trim it as best you can, but it's also dangerous because you don't have any vision. So
true. Yeah.
You can only really fight him if he lets you here. You can try and zone LCS if you want, but since the wave is so huge, their minions are gonna die way too quick. So it's probably not gonna. You're probably not gonna be able to buy much.
I miss 3 minions doing that too, right there. Actually, I think my CSing can be pretty poor sometimes when I'm focused on looking at trades and like opportunities to get a winning trade or something like that. Then I can definitely miss CS.
So now here, this is when you want to try and thin it a little bit. You're on a fine line here, right? So if you trade too much here, you're this is a bad trade, right? Because he's got too much minions. Like even if you get some damage here, this is like fine damage, right? But you want to be pulling this wave towards you, right? And by going for this trade, your minions are gonna push. So you don't want to be doing this. Even like it's a fine trade damage wise. It's a little poor because of the minions, but it's fine. And this is just him being stupid. He shouldn't ever be trying to fight you here. And here, this is the big thing I noticed with this. Right? So he shouldn't ever be trying to fight you here.
Yeah.
It's dumb that he does this. He's just greeting for the cannon, to be honest. And he honestly used his third Q just to use just use his Q for fun. So he really griefed it. He failed his Z. So here, this is fine. It was good to use the whip there for that last battle. If you went for an auto, he would have walked forward and you would have lost it. But right here when he flashes, your Q distances, I've noticed, are consistently not like optimal. So I'm pretty sure you know this if you were right, but your damage on your Q goes off when the dash ends, right?
Yeah.
So you need to like be optimizing the dash distance for every single Q. Like it needs to be like, kind of unconscious. And that's something that I've noticed a lot that you don't really do like super well. A lot of the times you like Q with too much distance, so it takes a little longer to land, or you're on the wrong, like the enemy has too much time to move and you end up missing the vital, stuff like that.
You just want it to stay tight and like be like on the very end of it, right?
You wanna just make sure your Q isn't either too short or too long. It's got to be like the right distance. It's hard to say what the right distance is because it changes based on the situation. And I'll show you some of those situations to practice still where the distance is really variable. Basically, your Q distance right now is not great, and that's a big thing you can work on to. I actually get
my Qs flashed on a lot, actually. Like where because I'm doing it too long, and then they flash and the Q doesn't hit. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That actually happens to me more often than like. Well, actually, you would probably believe it, but it does happen pretty often. And I'm always shocked. I'm always like, you know what I mean? You know, I have a really good idea of how big the Q range is because it's actually massive. You know what I mean? But I whiff my Qs fucking hard. You're right on that. I'm not very precise. I never go back and watch my own games, so whenever I get like coached and I watch it back, there's so many things I see that are like bad. Like even this
is fine.
But there's like little things, right? You know what I mean? There is little things that I feel like I could have done better, even in that situation. My slide parries are too predictable as well. I need to get some like
Well, I mean,
angling
if
to
you,
it.
it's not really. It's not that it's too predictable. It's just that if you use your slide parry like that when he has his EF, if he has a human reaction time, he's always just gonna eat the side and dodge it.
What's his E
Unless
cooldown?
way shorter than parry.
I wonder if I should be looking for that though and play this lane almost like the Riven lane and always play off the E.
What do you mean, like off his E cooldown, or?
Yeah, to make sure I can hit the stun if I'm ever gonna go for a slide parry.
Well, you kind of have to play off his E cooldown, otherwise he just disengages, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like any other lane where you have to play on off their disengage or engage cooldown, because dodging Aatrox's Q if he doesn't have his E it's pretty trivial, right? Like at least for the Q1, right? So if he tries to Q1 you really shouldn't be getting hit by Aatrox's Q1 on the sweet spot, like just straight up, right? Without him using his E.
Mhm. What do you think's the best thing to parry on him? Is it 3Q?
Whatever he lets you. If he's letting you get a stun on him, he's playing poorly. But if he lets you parry it, whatever Q, then whichever one doesn't really matter too much. A stun of any kind usually means he's lost. So you're going for these, right? And it's good that you're going for these and trying to trade. But when he has his E up, he's always gonna dodge it like this. There's no reason.
That's not something I think about in the Aatrox lane actually, is to play off the E, to be honest.
See right here again, you're consistently using your slide play like that when he has E up. So he's always gonna avoid it.
Yeah, I think I need to rethink the lane a bit on how I play it.
I mean, the main thing is just you need to pay attention to his E cooldown, right? It's like tunneling too hard on like going into his Q, like like letting him use his Q and kind of baiting into it and then slide parrying into it to try and hit him. But it's like that's never gonna work if he has E up and he's paying attention. I mean, if you can maybe catch him sleeping, right? But like,
What are the odds?
yeah, the big thing with this is that if you keep trading like that, if his jungler's ever around, you're just instantly dead because you're right on top of him, no parry, Q's down as well, and then his jungler comes out of the bush, you're just dead. What can you do? Literally nothing.
Yeah, I was pretty blessed this game to not get any pressure from his jungler, to be honest.
This is what you're saying. You're talking about getting more plates or something.
So I walked down and I feel like I could have just like stayed or like gone bot or like helped or done something different because I didn't really need to go top. How much did mid had all 5? I thought, right? Yeah, mid has all 5. I feel like maybe we could have like pushed it in together and like gotten like stay here or something. You know what I mean? Maybe we get a kill here if I stay. I don't know. Just kind of
I
thinking.
mean, you can maybe try and blow him off the tower and we get a plate or two, but
Just because I had the opportunity with 30 seconds left and like I already had a lead, and I feel like when you have a lead that big, it's good to like try, because I don't really need to go top. I felt like if
well, you need
imagine
to go to some lane somewhere, otherwise you're just losing farm for no reason.
well imagine if we do get that kill on Yone and then I get like 3 or 4 plates. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, he would have to let you kill him. He's under his own tower, so he would have to stay under tower and then try and fight you guys if you try to dive him instead of just walking away. At most, you get 2 plates or so, and then his team responds.
This was bad.
Yeah, you're just too far up here, especially because like we know the dragon's already gone, and there's no reason they should be anywhere else besides stopping you. Like,
Well,
there's
I was
nothing
ready to
else
stop on
go.
this though.
Well,
I was
once
yeah.
they go on you like this, you can go in here. I'm pretty sure. Like, so you are way stronger than all of them.
I was thinking if I focused Samira right away, there was a chance, but
Yeah, she's level 8. If you go in on her, it's 'cause, like they'd like half HP's her. Yeah, it's like right here. If you just commit on Samira,
probably could have
you
used
could just
parry
commit on
better.
Samira a little earlier, and then you would have had Gorjunker up. I think you would have. I think you guys would have won that.
I do get
You
really
go on, like once Nid turned to jump on Samira here,
yeah.
that's when you just go.
I get really cluttered when people are stacked on top of each other and I want to focus one person. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes I get like overwhelmed and I can't. Like Maokai's such a big seeing them both together on top and he's like on top of her. I don't know why, but it makes it tough for me to like hit. I know that like the Q and stuff like that is gonna focus the person who's ulted, but my auto attacks won't, and I gotta be like really precise with it.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, that's just kind of a fact of the game. Is that when
Yeah.
targets are together like that, it's harder to choose a single one. That's why having good mouse accuracy is really important, right? Because that way you can pick out 2 different targets like that. So here, you don't want to fight Samira, but yeah, you can just take this tower in her face, back up when she gets the exhaust. It's fine.
I felt like that was good. I like that play.
Yeah, it was good. Because you're not scared of her. You're scared of her, for the whole rest of her team, right? So
Yeah.
if she's the only one here, just fucking walk up and hit the tower. She doesn't do shit. This guy's trolling. Okay, you did fuck up your vitals here though, pretty bad. So this guy's briefing, and then here, you walk all the way down to the bottom here. Doesn't make any sense to do that.
What are my? Can I see my cooldowns on that play again? Alt, auto, walk to the. Yeah.
All
True.
you gotta do is just auto walk down here and then queue up. because he's gonna be stunned by Asher, right? So there's no reason for you to walk down here. Even if he wasn't stunned by Asher, there's no reason for you to walk down here. This vital is already, you were already in position to hit this vital. You just gave it up to walk down instead. So like here.
Oh yeah,
walking
true.
down.
Yeah.
All you have to do is just start walking up with him. Just like one click up here at the top, you walk up with him, hit this vital, and then you one click down to the bottom, walk down, and then he's walking up already, right? So you guys are gonna go like kind of intersect paths, and then you just hit the bottom one and you queue to the right.
Yeah, and that's like, yeah, true. He like walk. That's perfect too. That's like a perfect ulti where the guy has to walk into it. You know what I
You
mean?
have to walk into everything you're doing. Yeah.
I just didn't capitalize on it.
Okay, this is a good slide parry.
How do you like target selection here? How I went like straight through, hit a couple vitals, did some damage on them, and then went and made sure I got Nami. Because I know I think I walked down and then I queue up to get another vital, and then I went for her. So I was trying to push out as much like potential as damage. Because I was pretty happy with this fight. Because I felt like I did a lot here.
Yeah, your target selection is fine. This queue at the end here is pretty bad. This is one that's both in the wrong direction and it's too long.
So bottom parry.
This is all good. This is good. You kind of like use this. So I think that I do in Fiora a lot, and this really helps you pick better targets in fights, right? Is that you can use vitals to kind of like bounce off people. So like right here, you queue to this top vital, hit it, and then you have the move speed. You walk up, use it to walk up and get to Nami, right? So you just kind of keep like going from vital, and I think you actually started off of a Maokai vital. So to start here, you queue to the Maokai, hit his bottom vital, right? Yeah, hit his bottom vital, go to the Yone, do this, and so what this does is it keeps refreshing your passive, right? Because your passive is decaying move speed, right? So when the move speed decays, like it's like a burst at the start, and then it tapers off, right? So when you keep hitting vitals like this, you just keep refreshing it and stopping it from decaying. It also keeps you high HP. Yeah. So that's
ideal.
Ideal, yeah. Is just keep hitting vitals and just kind of bouncing from target to target if you can. Obviously, if you can kill one target, you want to, kill whatever's in front of you. But if you can't, you just kind of want to go between vitals and different targets.
Wait, can I see that my Q again? Yeah, why queue up actually?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think the idea is you're trying to get to the vital, right? But I mean, it was poorly aimed even for the vital, and then 2, you're kind of tunneling on the vital a little too much. You don't even need the vital to kill her. You just have to Q out her and she's dead.
Yeah.
But either way, it was poor. Because I mean, it was in the wrong direction and it was too long too. Because if you just like this, the direction is one thing, but it takes you like twice as long to queue as you need to. You can just queue like even if you just
right
queued
in front
here,
of her.
it hits Nami and then you're already ready to go in auto.
Gotcha.
You did like a full range queue there. This
Yeah.
queue was too long. You saw it instantly too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. See.
Yeah.
It could have been just up here by the Aatrox sword instead.
Mhm.
That one was good. Good slide parry. And here this is where I said you're respecting them too much, right? So they both have front vitals. You can just bounce these two off each other. You can even use Gore Trigger to hit them both, right? And then you kind of back up and miss your Q, and then you just have to go back in again. And here, this is where Samir is respecting. You're respecting Samir way too much.
She should just die there.
Yeah, this is the really egregious part. This is whatever, right? You miss your Q and you can't really go back in for a bit. That's fine. Then she just walks into melee range of you with her front vital. She's right here. You got ult up and flash up. And you have fucking.
Look how much damage that
armor.
one. Damn.
Yeah. It's like she's level 10, and you've got fucking 140 armor. These two don't do no damage to you. The only threat is the tower. You're out of tower range right now too. It's like you're giving them way too much respect. You can just alter it and kill her right away. I mean, her shield bow's down. You probably didn't know her shield bow was down. Most people don't really keep track of shield bow, but there was just no reason to respect her that hard. And then here, this is just really bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's a ton of things wrong there. Yeah, so QW was unnecessary, then you tank the next Q, and then flash, and then your Q was too long again, so it's not a huge deal, but like it's not a huge death, like realistically, because this Aatrox is dog shit, so it doesn't really make an impact on the game, but there's no reason to die there. Could just played it a little better.
This one was good. I got all 4 there. I like that.
Alright, yeah, this is not bad vitals here. Got exhausted, which kind of blows, but in here, once he Qs towards you, it's fine, and then once you see him ulting,
I just didn't know.
block it.
Can I see it? Yeah, I want to see my cooldowns. Did I have a slide up? Because I totally think I did. 2, 1. I literally have Q up, don't I? No, I used it.
No, you don't. It's just barely up.
Wait.
Oh, no,
cringe.
You used your Q again.
Yeah.
Using it. You didn't, like I said, you don't. If you go in front of him with parry off, I mean, you can parry it, but you just need to block it. Even if you just block it, he forces flash. So.
I just needed to catch it. That's it. I didn't need to like do anything fancy. Yeah.
Especially because if you try to slide parry it, right, He's got flash up. He flashes over the wall, and you don't have to keep up the fall though. If you just walk in front of it, it gets blocked. He has to flash over the wall, and then you just fall with Q.
It really is just those minute, like, mechanical errors that make a massive difference.
The problem is like everybody makes mechanical mistakes, but problem is when they're too consistent is when you is when it becomes a problem, right? Because
Yeah.
I don't do everything perfectly all the time, right? Nobody does. It's just
But you can minimalize
too
it.
much of the time. Yeah.
This was a half decent fight. I don't know. I think I'm just so fed that Smear dies in 2 vitals here. Gorgringer actually keeps me alive there too.
Right here, you back away. I would just alter here. So like this is the same thing. You give me too much respect. You've got Frozen Heart, fucking Ninja Dabby, so you don't take damage from it. And here, that Q is a little poor. It ended up hitting the vital, but it still wasn't aimed the best.
My parry could have been better too. I panicked on the like she was dead, and then the bubble was coming, and I was like, okay, the bubble's still gonna hit even though she's dead. So I just tossed that one quick.
Yeah. So see, this Q is a little too on the diagonal here. You either want it to be straight up like this, or if it's on the diagonal, you want it to be really close to the target so you can auto range. But because you see how right there you get your auto here, and then you have to keep walking around.
I really do want to try to break that lock screen. I wonder if that is like throwing me off and making me throw big Qs and stuff like that. Because like if I spam it and then I bring it back to my character and my mouse is like where I want it to be, but then I push it back and then I'm going just a little bit too far, too close, like whatever. You know what I mean? I wonder.
It very well could be affecting this. I don't know if it is, right? But it's something that's very like obvious to change, you know?
Yeah.
Because there's no real purpose to it, and it could be causing it could be hurting you. So I'm gonna go in practice tool and try and show you a little bit what I mean about Q distance, because it's a little bit more than just Q distance, right? Like in terms of what I mean by Q distance isn't just Q distance, if that makes sense. I'm not really explaining this right, but it'll be easier when I show you. Okay, so main thing I'm talking about when I'm talking about Q distance, right? Obviously is so I can hit this whenever I see this vital, right? Now instead I want to Q to it, I can Q like this and it'll hit the vital, or I can Q like this and it'll hit the vital. The difference is this one, I have to walk a little bit to get an auto range, or if I Q in farther, right? Like I have to walk up to get an auto range, whereas this one, I can just Q auto real quick like that, right?
And that kind of like maxes damage potential too, huh? Because it's just so much faster.
Yeah, and then so like right here, if I do this, right, I have to walk into auto range, whereas if I do that, I don't have to. So the idea with Q distance and Fiora, right, is you need to optimize how far you are from the target in terms of, okay, do I need to be in auto range? Do I want to be out of an engage window? While also being, optimizing, okay, this is how I need to hit the vital, and this is how I want to, beat my character be positioned, right? Because if I want to hit this vital, right, but if I want to move to the top, then, so let's say I want to hit this top vital, right? I can Q to this vital down here, right, and hit down here. That doesn't help me hit this top vital. And so instead I go like this, and I can hit that top one easy, right?
Yeah.
One of the biggest things about Fiora that like is harder to master, right, is queuing like on diagonals on the right times, queuing, straight at the right times, and then making sure your queue isn't too long or too short, right?
Like really thinking ahead of what you're gonna do in that fight.
You want it to try and get kind of subconscious, where you don't really have to think too much about it. You just kind of, you see an R and you already know how you want to hit it without even really putting much thought into it. It just kind of happens naturally. And another thing with Q distance is really important, right? Is that let's say I'm trying to hit this this vital here, right? Mm-hmm. If I'm queuing and I'm queuing too far, I can't really show this on a target dummy because it doesn't move, right? But I'll try to explain it as best I can. But the whole thing with vitals and Fiora is that in practice tool, it's way easier to hit them, obviously, because the target dummies don't move. So if I'm trying to hit this vital, right, on the right side here, and I key like this, right, that's gonna hit the target dummy, obviously, right, because it doesn't move. But if I key like that on a target that's in the real game and he starts moving like this as I queue, I'm not gonna hit the vital. I might even miss my queue. So that's why the queue distance is important too, is because if I key like this, right, even if this target starts moving to the right or to the left, I'm going for this right vital, right, I'm still going to be able to hit this right vital even if it starts moving. Whereas if I do it like this, right, and it moves to the left, I'm not going to hit it. I might even lose the Q and it goes a long cooldown.
Hitting those Qs so close like that is almost scary because I feel like it makes it like it doesn't match what your brain wants to think, right? Because you want to be like standing on it or like a little bit outside of it to hit, but you're like hitting it inside of it. You know what I mean?
It's a balance, right? Because here's the problem as well, right? So you don't want this to happen. You don't want him to move to the left and then you're fucked. But you also don't want this to happen where you queue to the right like this, and then they move to the right. Because what happens then is you're right on top of the target, right? And you can't really hit vitals, right? Because you're too close. It'll make you hit a random vital, or it'll sometimes you won't even hit any.
Yeah.
If you're too close. It can really bug out like that. So that's if anybody in chat's watching wants to know how to counter Fiora, right? It's all about movement. Because you can make her miss her Q if she doesn't do it properly. You can block vitals like this, and so like let's say this target's moving down here, right? And I'm trying to hit my Q. Well, if I see them moving down, right, I might use a longer Q because I know they're going to be moving down. And I know I need to kind of compensate for their move speed. And then as soon as they see me Q, right, like as soon as I see this Q animation and they start walking up, I miss my Q. So there you go. That's how I beat Fiora guys in chat, just like that.
Damn, he's coaching. He's coaching the chat too. Sheesh.
Yeah, so that's the big thing with Q distance there, right? Is that like you want to make sure you're optimizing how close you want to be to the target, and like taking into account their move speed, or like if they have dash and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then another thing that you don't always do, right, is that not just like the distance of the cube, but like the direction, right? So I was talking about earlier with like what vitals you want to hit, right? So if I'm trying to hit this top vital, or let's say I hit this one, right? I hit this one, and I want to hit both of these quicker, right? Well, if I queue to this vital like this, I'm on this like right angle or this right side angle here, right? It's pretty hard to go up and hit this vital, right?
Yeah.
Whereas if I do this, and I'm on the diagonal, right?
You're like right on
it. Take one step and just walk forward.
That does make sense. I think I'm gonna really try to break that spacebar thing. That's gonna be so hard for me, dude. It's just like you play a lot, like, cause I do end up playing a decent amount of games, and you start to get to a point where like you do think about it a lot, and then you kind of like stop thinking about it at a certain point after you've been grinding for like 2 weeks or something like that. You know what I mean? And then you're like, well, I'm just queuing up, playing it, talking to chat. You're not thinking about like the little things and the shit like that.
If you queue as you're doing it, like, see, look, my queue went in complete opposite direction. Obviously, that's a little bit of an extreme example, right? But here, so this is a little bit less extreme example, right? So if I try and, like, I want to see like a queue up towards this grass, right? But this is gonna keep me a little further up, right? So like there, I just went a little further up instead of going here.
Nah, that was good. That's like that's perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, like
I
think you
took 2 hours
focus
with me,
on queue distance and direction, and then I don't know, just making sure you choose the right targets in team fights. You did pretty well in your target selection in the second game, but something I just keep noticing is that sometimes you just either like pussy out of team fights that you should be committing to, or you just kind of wishy-washy go on to different targets, and then it doesn't really work. Anything else you want to see from your practice tool you think might help or something? I don't know.
Nah, I think I'm good. I think I'm ready to play. That was actually really good. Thank you again, man. I really appreciate you.
All right, good luck with the games, brother.
Thank you, man. I'm going to try to break this habit. It might cost me some LP now, but for the future, I think it'll be better, so we'll see.
Yep, good luck.
All right, thank you, brother. Have a good night.
You too.